Hello, everybody. It's time to go into some coffee with Kenobi. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to CWK Live. This is a bonus show for the week because we've got an amazing Star Wars news week. Of course, we had Celebration news, but now we've also got the Kenobi trailer that dropped. So I'm going to bring in a heavy hitter and his very intelligent Super Star Wars fan assistant, Clayton Sandell. Hey, look who you got there with you, Clayton.
Who is this? What's your name? Tell the people your name.
Hey, Alex.
My name is Alex.
Nice to meet you, pal. I've heard a lot about you. How's it going? How did you like the Kenobi trailer?
I loved it. It was super cool.
What was your favorite part?
I think it was seeing little Luke.
Can you kind of do an impression for us of what he did?
Yeah, he was like that.
Oh man, that's so cool. And what about your dad, Clayton? What'd you think about it, buddy?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought there were. I thought as a trailer, it felt very much like a Star Wars movie versus a Star Wars TV show. It felt much more epic, much more grand, much more in the spirit of the films, I thought, than certainly Mandalorian and certainly more than Book of Boba Fett. So I thought it was sort of a sweeping Star Warsy epic kind of trailer.
Oh, I totally agree. We've got a lot of people here watching with us. Ross says, "What a day it was!" Mita says, "Happy CWK Day." Hello, Terry. Ian, this will indeed be a day long remembered. Christina, so much excitement. Mary joined me I was just on WDW Radio Live answering questions about the Galactic Star Cruiser. Now we're talking some Kenobi. Alex, Mary says hello. Terry's saying hello to Clayton and Alex, as is Matthew. And Ian agrees with you, Clayton, and I've been saying this too. It definitely had a very cinematic feel. The entire thing really did. It was amazing. Epic. Gary, welcome to the show. Epic trailer, teared up. Cannot wait. So, Alex, I'm guessing you didn't get teared up, buddy. But I definitely think it was very emotional for so many of us. Daniel says, Daniel's got a great Kenobi cosplay. Says, so pumped for this series. I think we all are. So did it raise your level of excitement, Clayton and Alex?
Yeah.
It definitely did for me. Yeah, it definitely did for me. We've had an absolute drought of anything about this series. It's been kept highly under wraps, and except for a few casting notes, we just hadn't seen or heard much of this. And then it all came as a flood. The sort of first hint we got was the Twitter account that was set up not too long ago, so we kind of maybe suspected something was coming. And then we got the Entertainment Weekly article this morning, which was cool. Had some cool photographs in it, lots of new information, which was fun. And then the avalanche just kept coming.
It did, and when I saw that account, I thought, okay, it says Obi-Wan Kenobi. That sounds official. I was waiting for that blue check to know I could actually trust the account. It wasn't some fan account. Not that they're bad, but you got to be careful what information you can trust. And this was sure enough it. And it looks like your helicopter tweet was getting some ground here. LJ says, those darn helicopter sabers. Talk to me about the helicopter sabers, Clayton.
I did that mostly as just a tongue-in-cheek joke. I didn't really have any opinion on the helicopter sabers. I think they were cool when we've seen them in the animated shows, but I just kind of said it as a joke. And for whatever reason, like the dumbest tweets take off and get a lot of play. And for whatever reason, people locked on to the helicopter saber love a little bit, and I had about equal measure people saying no, stop with the helicopter sabers, and other people who were like, yes, I want this now. So we'll see if it happens. But we did get we did get the rotation in the trailer, at least from the Grand Inquisitor. His saber was spinning around, so all he has to do is lift it up a little bit and he's off.
And that's it. He's got liftoff. Christopher Reeve can fly, so can the Grand Inquisitor. Maybe. So that actually comes from the end of season 2 of Star Wars Rebels, when one of the Inquisitors is able to use his lightsaber. So I think that must be what is spurring this. A lot of people are very excited. I think, and let's see, Minta jumps in here and says, the trailer was just the pick-me-up I needed this week. Plus, we have the Inquisitor. I was surprised to see the Grand Inquisitor. Now, chronologically, and you know something about Star Wars timelines, Mr. Clayton Sandell, esteemed Star Wars author, it made sense. I'm like, well, of course, it's 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. It's before Star Wars Rebels Season 1. So the Inquisitor has to be in this thing. What do you think about his look?
I thought his look. I thought his look was fine. I've seen people online talk about how he doesn't look like he looked
like a cartoon. Yeah,
cartoon face. And look, it is. This is just something that I think is going to happen when you transfer characters from one medium to another. I think, like it or not, the reality is there is a hierarchy of Star Wars media here, and so something that you see in an animated series. Well, put it this way: if you were doing a comic book, you would not expect the comic to drastically change the look of Darth Vader, for example. But the live action shows, the films, they're sort of at the top of the food chain, and they can kind of do what they want, and so they have changed this look. And for whatever reason, it fit whatever they needed to do with the story. But, I think there's kind of a history of that. Exhibit A, Rosario Dawson plays Ahsoka Tano and not Ashley Eckstein. So, look, it's it's a different look. It's a different sound. People were advocating for Jason Isaacs to be voicing this thing. But this is just going to have to be something that people kind of live with. The characters, the looks, the sounds are going to change from one medium to the next. So
plus, when you're seeing something and it's like a 2-second slam, how could you possibly have an idea of the flavor or the texture, of what this character is going to do for us? If you would have told me, a couple months ago that Cad Bane would transition to live action, I never would have believed that. I know how they pull it off. So they're doing that. And the fact that we live in a world where any characters from any medium can show up in a Disney Plus series or in a movie, I think it's spellbindingly cool. But he's not the only one we saw. The Grand Inquisitor is very important, but we also see the fifth brother as well.
The fifth brother, yep, and the third sister, I think it is.
That's right.
And I think it's actually fairly. You were talking about the timeline earlier. I think it is fairly appropriate for them to be doing their thing alongside or for Darth Vader at this time, because this is the time when he was going around hunting Jedi. But I found it really interesting. I was reading this book earlier, and what was really interesting about the Inquisitors here is that they sort of share. I don't know if you've seen this book or heard of it.
I've heard of it.
I want to pick it up anyway. The Star Wars book. Anyway, there's a thing in here about the Inquisitors, and it says the new Inquisitors shed the symbols of their past, giving up their names to become just a number alongside their new brothers and sisters. And I kind of thought there was a parallel there to Obi-Wan Kenobi, who has also shed his name and his past. And so it sort of makes sense that these two very kind of similar pathways, characters on similar pathways on the light side and the dark side are coming together in this series. But I would not have come up with that thought had I not read this.
Well, and I don't think it doesn't go unnoticed that you've got a number of markers throughout so you can
Oh,
find key
it's
things.
heavily tabbed here, as you can see. Yes,
It's indexed. Well, the check is in the mail. I promise you it won't bounce. So that's good. That's great. No, and Star Wars is at its best, I think, when there's a lot of symbolism and a lot of interconnectivity, but they're not slamming you over the face so that you can just enjoy it. So,
right.
Alex, when you're watching Star Wars, did you notice that some of those characters were from Star Wars Rebels?
Yeah, it's cool.
Isn't it? Who's your favorite Inquisitor? Which one do you think is the coolest?
I think the main Inquisitor, like
The Grand Inquisitor,
yeah,
that
the
guy
Grand
there.
Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And
super cool.
I just love their lightsabers. I think they're just really cool.
Yeah, which means we're going to get legacy lightsabers that your dad's going to have to buy for you when you go back to Galaxy's Edge with them.
Right. And Alex was actually telling me a little bit about the Inquisitors from Jedi Fallen Order, because he's actually played through that game a lot more than I have.
Oh, wow.
But we kind of see their base, right?
Yeah.
We saw it in the trailer a little bit, just a quick shot of it, but that's kind of from the game, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what Christina says. The fortress looks like Nur from Fallen Order. So I've not finished that game either. So tell us about that, buddy. What is that like? Does it take? Do they fight inside that base, or is that just when they see in like different images?
It's like you see it like for a short amount of time. You don't really like any fights there.
Does Cal have a mission that he goes on in that place? I can't remember.
No, I don't really. I think it just like shows it in the game, and you can see it a little bit before it goes on to the next part of the game.
Right. Okay, that's cool.
Sort of brings up a good point, though. I wonder, since it's all around the same time, and there's already this tie into the game. I wonder if Cal Kestis will show up. I wonder.
It's hard not to let your mind go that direction, isn't it? Because of the likelihood of that. I mean, I suppose as the Book of Boba Fett taught us, any characters can show up anywhere in any different medium. And so, I mean, I also noticed, changing gears a little bit, they were very clear in the trailer, this is a limited series. So there are no illusions about there being a season 2. This is it. 6 episodes, I believe they have said as well.
Right, yeah, which kind of gives it the feel of a 6-hour movie, essentially, that they're making here, which will be great, because I think when you have kind of a finite, you have a finite end to it, I think that can sometimes help the storytelling a little bit, because you have to have a beginning, middle, and end, and that maybe that'll kind of help focus the series a little bit.
Oh, I agree. And actually, I can't believe it just didn't happen. So I didn't properly introduce you. Clayton and Alex Sandell. Clayton, of course, is a Star Wars author, and he is a national reporter for Newsy. And Alex is the man, the brains behind the man himself. Alex has taught Clayton everything he knows about Star Wars, or maybe it's vice versa, or maybe you just kind of learned it together. Is there anything better than enjoying Star Wars with your family?
No, it's fun, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun watching the shows together, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So there's an important question, Alex. How much does your dad let you play with the stuff behind him? Because I can tell you the answer. When my son is the same age as you, that would be 0, because he's got his own toys.
Are you allowed to get things off the wall and play with them occasionally?
Yeah, I like to play with lightsabers back there, and the helmets sometimes.
Yeah, there's some helmets back on the. Oh, here we go. Shelf somewhere. There you go.
I love it. Yeah, no, Mason plays with plenty of cool stuff around here. That is absolutely for sure. We kid because we love, right?
That's right.
And you built a legacy lightsaber, didn't you, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh,
what color is yours?
I think it's green.
Oh, nice.
You've done 2 one was green, and what was the other one?
The other one was purple, I think.
That's right.
Purple. Oh, cool. Well, I guess it's not a legacy lightsaber if you built it, but that's a pretty cool experience. Someone just asked me about when you build a lightsaber. If you go on the Galactic Star Cruiser, should you build a lightsaber? And I said, I think building a lightsaber is the coolest thing you can do at Galaxy's Edge. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty fun.
It's really cool. Have you ever built one, Clayton?
I never have. I watched you build yours.
That's right.
And then your first one, anyway. And then I've watched Alex build one, and then Mom watched you build the other one, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen it a few times, but no, I've not done my own. I gotta do that sometime.
It's put it on your Star Wars homework. So let's do something a little impromptu here. Daniel says, did anyone notice Vader's breath at the end? The first time, Daniel, I watched this, I did not catch that. But then the second time, I absolutely heard it. And you're bringing up some good points. I see a lot of good points in the comments. So let's do it. Let's do an impromptu. Let's do a top five. We're not going to be able to have a perfect top five, but let's point out some really cool moments that really stood out for us. And Yassine says, awesome to meet you, Clayton and Alex. Yes, that's right. We're glad you could join us for sure, my friend. Alex, I'm going to let you start. Tell me one of your favorite moments from the trailer.
I think the Vader breathing, that was pretty cool.
That is a great choice. Clayton, what about you?
I think the use of Duel of the Fates just kind of sent shivers down my spine when that kicked in. They kind of hinted at it before, but then when the title or the Lucasfilm logo came up, and it just kicked in, it was incredible. And I think we didn't get to see Vader in the trailer, but we did get to hear a little bit of breathing at the end. But I think the use of Duel of the Fates really kind of sets up the entire it's tremendous foreshadowing to what'll probably be a pretty great meeting of these two characters once again.
Oh, I think so too. And I'm a little nervous about them meeting because I don't want to mess with the New Hope and the power of that sequence. But we'll see. I have faith in these storytellers and their ability to craft a narrative that will really inspire us. My first one I'm going to bring up is a combo of seeing the Lucasfilm logo sweeping away into the sand, and then seeing Luke Skywalker on sitting on top of the homestead, pretending like he is piloting. When I saw that, I mean, I was already all in, but I actually get goosebumps. I showed it in class at the beginning of a mythology class, and so I introduced what we're going to do for the day, and I talked about your projects, and we're doing some stuff with the Hero's Journey, and I said, another great thing about having this class is that when cool stuff happens, we're going to watch it. I said, a brand new trailer just dropped for Obi-Wan Kenobi about 10 minutes ago. We're going to watch it. And they're like, wow. And we just had the greatest time. We got to talk about it a little bit. So that was a really cool special moment. We got a lot of good ones here. Terry's number 5 is seeing Obi-Wan again, which is awfully good. Anthony says, like you said, Clayton, the music, Battle of the Heroes, and we also heard Duel of the Fates, Anakin's Dark Deeds. It was a nice amalgamation of a lot of key music from Revenge of the Sith. Ross, Dayu, another new urban planet / location. Yes, we have another planet. Clay, do you have time to go into the timeline book and add a new planet in there?
Yeah, exactly. Let me open it up and re-edit that.
Yeah, get the white out. Matthews loved hearing Duel of the Fates, got goosebumps, absolutely. And Sarah brings up having Luke pretending to be on like a pod racer. That's Alex. Did you think he was like doing a pod racer thing?
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Kind of like Anakin, huh?
That's what I thought too. Christina says the narrative around finding the Jedi through their empathy, that was very powerful. I thought, Christina, that's a good catch. The the Jedi can't help what they are. Is that the line, Clayton? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Pretty cool, and it makes sense because that is who they are created to be. That is their belief, and that's how they live their lives. Mary says the last shot of Kenobi was heart-wrenching. And I thought, yeah, you don't get to see a lot of Ewan McGregor, and you don't really know much about what the plot is, and that's how I prefer it, to be honest, because then it leaves it so open to not knowing. You get excited, you build that hype, but then you don't know what's going to happen, and that makes it pretty cool. Alex, what's another highlight from this that you really liked?
Any cool shots?
I think it was seeing the Inquisitors just come on in the show, in the trailer.
That was epic. That was because I didn't expect to see that at all. I thought that was very cool. In fact, Terry agrees with you. He says the introduction of the Inquisitor with his saber and the hunters. Yeah, that was very, very cool. I love that too. And my son Mason, he loved that as well. Clayton, what's another one that you had?
Well, I did, just on noting about what we saw Obi-Wan doing in this trailer. He was definitely in sort of this observer role, and they did not show him in action, which I agree with you. I think was probably a good thing. I think to kind of tease his return and set him up a little bit. Maybe we'll see more of that in a trailer closer to when the show actually gets ready to drop. But he just kind of was this. Kind of in the shadows, hiding, watching, observing, and I thought that was kind of cool.
It was very cool because again, you get an idea of maybe the conflict that's going to happen in this particular series itself. We do get to meet a new Inquisitor. Is she the third sister or the sixth sister?
The third sister,
Third,
I believe.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Reva is her name, played by Moses Ingram, who, if you watched Queen's Gambit, she kind of played a supporting role in that. She was very good in that show. But yeah, she's plays Reva. And she looks mean.
Every time she holds her lightsaber, just, I don't know, there's something about it's the stonework, the choreography, the acting, but whenever someone holds a lightsaber, and there's like a combination of grace and power and intimidation, I think, if it's a red blade. And I feel like that really jumped off the screen. I feel like she's going to be kind of a show stealer.
Yeah, I agree. I think she may be sort of on the leading edge of this effort, whatever it is. And again, in here, learned that there's this Project Harvester, and right. I assume we will hear about Project Harvester, which is the Inquisitor's effort to try and track down these Force-sensitive Jedi and Jedi youth. So that should be really interesting to see.
I believe so. Oh, you know what? I have another special guest that's going to be joining me in this part of the studio. All right. Well, Alex, meet my son, who's the same age as you. This is Mason.
Hey, there's Mason.
So, Mason, we are talking about the Kenobi trailer. And so far, Alex has said that he really liked seeing... tell us again what your favorite parts were.
Seeing the Inquisitors come into the show.
And then also seeing young Luke Skywalker. Yeah. What are some of your favorite parts, Mason?
I like seeing young Luke Skywalker, and I like how Kenobi is like sort of spying on him and seeing how he is.
Oh, that's a good point. He's sort of looking at it, and he says, I believe, to him, he says, "Hey, what does he say? Stay hidden," something like that.
Yes, he says, "Stay hidden."
Stay hidden. Yeah, I think that is correct.
That's right.
So it appears the hits just keep on coming. We've got another guest that's going to join us. We've got Mr. Cory Clubb, the co-creator of Coffee with Kenobi.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
How's it going? You're on with Alex and Clayton Sandell, and my name is Dan Zare, and this is Mason Zare.
Guys, good to be here. Hello there.
Hello there. The
Hello
whole
there.
gang is here. So this is the first. How fun. We got a bunch of comments here. Terry mentions the introduction of the Inquisitor with his saber and the hunters, which we like. Daniel says the Imperial officer walking down the ramp / street. I thought that was very cool. Sort of an unknown name character. Cory, we've been saying some of our favorite moments so far. What is a moment that jumped out for you about this trailer?
You know, it's interesting because we've kind of been living in the after Empire state or era, I guess. This is the pre, I guess, Empire-ish. You know, they're coming into their stronghold, they're coming into their strength. And I was like, it's one of those explored areas that we, I'm excited to see again. You know, that pre-New Hope, seeing these clean stormtroopers, if you will, was kind of a nice surprise. But all in all, I mean, I just love seeing the new characters. I'm surprised at how many times that Star Wars can create new characters in any era. So very cool stuff.
It is very cool. Also cool. This has come up a lot again. The Grand Inquisitor and the rotating saber. They showed that early on. Mason, we were talking about how the Grand Inquisitor looked. Did you think he looked as cool as he does in the cartoon? Yeah, we think so too. Anthony's bringing up a character we haven't talked about yet, Uncle Owen. The actor from episode 2 and 3.
Joel Edgerton.
Yeah, Joel
Joel
Edgerton,
Edgerton,
he is back as Uncle Owen. He says, it was amazing to see the new Inquisitor be so close to him in the trailer. Makes you wonder how close they are to discovering Luke. Clayton, do you think that's going to come up very much? I mean, I guess they might do that to build a little bit of tension. But if we already know Obi-Wan's going to be on another planet, I'm assuming he's going to leave. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to do.
Yeah, it seems like that would be sort of a key motivation for coming to Tatooine, because they've maybe got a clue or a hint that maybe Luke or some force sensitive kid is there on Tatooine, and maybe they're coming to look for him. But I don't know. Maybe maybe Obi-Wan tries to divert them and send them off on the wrong path to this new planet. I don't know. What do you think?
I think they might like just spy on him to like see what happens.
Yeah.
Like see what happens to him.
I mean, I remember that scene from Rebels where you see kind of in the distance a young boy kind of running off into the distance, and how cool that was to see.
Right.
Young Luke. I think that was the first time we ever kind of got a young Luke look, and so that was cool. And then to see this, I actually didn't think they would show that in this trailer. I didn't know that they would show it in the series at all, but to have it in the teaser was kind of a nice surprise.
It was speaking of nice surprises. Terry says this is turning into an all-star event, having everybody here chatting about this. Mason took a break from Harry Potter to join us, so that's very, very cool. Yeah,
Awesome.
Alex, are you into Harry Potter too?
Yeah, I like to watch the movies sometimes.
Good deal. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, Sarah says Obi-Wan riding the EOP like he did when he dropped Luke off. We're going to see a lot of EOPs. I know this is a family-friendly show, but are we going to see EOPs farting like we did in episode 1?
I hope so.
Anything's possible.
I think this is a good bet. Yeah, I think it's a good. I'd put money on that. Yeah.
Is there going to be something in the Star Wars timelines about the first time we hear a fart in Star Wars? You think so, Clayton?
I don't know. I have to go back and take a look. I can't. Yeah.
Talk to your people.
Can't recall.
Yeah. All right. So there's anything better than saying the word fart and seeing 8-year-olds try not to laugh on camera?
I laugh. It's been a while since I've been 18 years old.
Daniel liked seeing Luke, Owen, and Beru on the farm, which was great. Daniel was at Coruscant with all the lights and signs. You know, I think it's that new planet. New planet. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was a new planet as well. I think they mentioned that article from Entertainment Weekly, a bunch of graffitis everywhere, the neon signs and stuff. I mean, trying to figure out all those little, what does this say? What does that say? It reminded me kind of a little bit of what we see in Galaxy's Edge, that downtown area.
I think so. Ross, who always comes through with the trivia for us, says that Imperial officer is Indira Varma. She is Ilara Sand in Game of Thrones, who loved Pedro Pascal's character. He says hashtag nerd alert. No, this hashtag information. Thank you, Ross. That's very good.
And her character in IMDb is listed as Tia, but I don't know if that's correct or not. You never know.
It's hard to say. Terry says Owen Lars sort of understand where his dislike of the Jedi / Sith / Force powers comes from. Well, from what I know of Owen Lars, everything around Jedi has caused a little bit of challenge or trouble in his life and his family. So I hope we get to see a good dichotomy of what he is actually like, besides just some grumpy man who watches his nephew drink blue milk and say you can't do anything.
There's more to him. I think there's more to him than meets the eye with Owen Lars. You know, we know him as kind of the grumpy old man and calling Luke's name and telling him what Luke would do. But you know, where's that grizzled background come from? What has he seen those eyes? Throughout the history of his life, and there might be more to him than you think. I'm excited about that character.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool. Alex and Mason, are there any other points you want to talk about for the Kenobi trailer? Mason, anything you want to talk about that you thought that was really cool looking?
I just thought seeing the Inquisitors was cool.
I did too, and knowing that any characters, like we said earlier, can show up is really, really fun. Alex, is there anything else you want to say about the Kenobi trailer?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think you both covered it very, very well.
And I think there's going to be like Vader pre-Vader.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
What do you mean by that?
Like early on when he's Vader with his castle on
Oh,
Mustafar.
oh, I
Because
hope
you
you're
did
right.
see the ship go to the castle.
Right, or a castle that could be where the
Something.
Inquisitors hang out
Yeah.
too. Good point. Yeah, I
Hang
hope.
out, eat pizza,
That'd be
drink
cool.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, Darth Vader. If Darth Vader drank Dr. Pepper, he'd be a lot happier. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode is not sponsored by Dr. Pepper, but I am willing to listen. If that is the case. Christina says, "Great job from the Padawans tonight. Such well-spoken young men. I think you both have done a great job. In fact, let's hear some applause for our young guest co-host here. Nice job, gentlemen. Nice job. Oh, Anthony's got a name. So does with Skywalker.
Hey.
I like
There
it.
you
I
go.
like it." Terry says, "Seeing Luke seeking adventure, as Yoda said in Duel of the Fates, set the tone for the rest of the teaser. I think nostalgia, Clayton and Cory plays a big part in this, but it always does with Star Wars. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, these are the things that we tap into that we love. It's no different than a good mythology. Mythology taps into those things inside of us that we love hearing about our world, about culture, about society, and about storytelling. And I feel like this trailer hits all those right notes."
Absolutely. I love the fact they had Duel of the Fates in that. That was one of the things I didn't expect. Because that's a very episode one, theme and music, and it just brings up a lot of memories. Like there's a lot of harbored feelings I think Obi-Wan has. He's carrying around with him. He's got some PTSD. Obviously, he feels like he failed, right? So he failed one apprentice, and now I feel like he's bound to another. Can he right his wrongs with this other character? And who's to say? I mean, well, we all kind of know what happens, but like, and still, it's like he's carrying around these weights, and I can't imagine that music and that theme playing over in his head too.
I agree. Clayton, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, this is it's a really interesting time because, as he says at the beginning of the trailer, we lost. He starts out as a broken person, and the Jedi Order is decimated at this point, and so we really haven't seen that era play out much, and so it's going to be interesting to see how that story gets told and how he transforms and how it all comes together. But yeah, it's a really interesting place to start the story from.
Oh, I agree. Sarah mentions Obi-Wan alone in the cave, which I'm guessing will be his new home. Speaking of mystery and intrigue, you can't just have Obi-Wan Kenobi sitting by himself being retrospective. I mean, that might work for like an hour. Then you give him a volleyball named Wilson. Maybe that could work. But over time, you gotta have more. You've got to have more.
Right.
But Ewan McGregor is such a great actor. I showed Tom Gross the image of Entertainment Weekly. He couldn't believe that was Ewan McGregor because he's like, "Is that the same guy?" So, well, yeah, he's a little bit older. Although I think we all wish we could age like Ewan McGregor. I think he still looks tremendous. They probably had to age him up, I'm guessing, to match Sir Alec Guinness. And I think it's going to be cool. Seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi ignite that lightsaber for the first time, that's going to be special.
Yep.
And I'm really interested to see how they took Mark Hamill and transformed him into a kid at ILM.
Yeah. That's a real voiceover work right there.
Yes. Wow. Who'd have thunk it? You heard it here, folks. If Clayton says it, you can trust it. Gentlemen, it's been really fun. I want to see what everybody else wants to say about this too. But anything you want to add about Kenobi, this amazing trailer, before we sign off? Cory, we'll start with you.
Sure. Yeah, we know so little right now, just from a teaser trailer. I do hope that they save a lot of the secrets for the show. I hope this is it for just a teaser, and we get to just right into the episodes. But this is exciting. I didn't know what to expect necessarily, but this gave me so much more, I think, to think about and to dwell on until we see the show. I'm excited to see more animated characters cross over to live action as well. That's a big jump, I think, and they do a great job of making that shift. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this series. I'm excited about it. I'm excited how they'll tell new stories in kind of an old way. So definitely looking forward to how it can add to the mythos of Obi-Wan.
Great. Alex, what about you?
I don't I'm just excited to see what comes. I don't really have anything to say.
Hey, I think that's a great way to
That's
be.
perfect.
You can just relax and enjoy the ride. I think that's great. What about you, Mason?
Same as Alex.
Same as Alex. All right, there you go. Clayton, anything you want to throw in?
I just again, I just felt like it had this epic scope to it. Kind of getting back to as much as I love the Mandalorian, that is a sort of very niche kind of story that this seems to be getting back to the sort of epic duel between good and bad, light and dark that we all kind of fell in love with in the beginning with Star Wars. So it's kind of fun to see them getting back to that sort of galactic level, big picture level storytelling. So that I think is kind of what I'm really excited about. Is that it seems like the tone and the style of it is a lot different. Kind of getting back to again kind of a um, film level scope to the storytelling.
I agree. Yeah, you and I were texting about that a lot, and same with Corey. There's a cinematic feel to this
Yeah.
that is really enriching, and I feel like a lot of people, myself included, I've been excited about a lot of Star Wars projects. There's something extra special about this one. It's not just because of the name of the podcast. It's because there's something special about Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of the first characters we ever met in Star Wars. To see his story continue in a meaningful way that feels like it's an authentic part of the overall mythology that we actually need to know more about is very, very special.
Yeah.
So,
Agree.
so speaking of special, how cool the first CWK Live. Not only do I have one guest, we've got 4 guests joining us. Corey, please let everybody know where they can reach out to you and ask you any questions about Obi-Wan Kenobi or anything else they want to ask you.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, they can jump online and check me out on Twitter at Cory Clubb. I'm there. You can email me, CoreyC at Coffee with Kenobi there. And we're excited for Celebration coming up. You can meet me there. Jumping on a jet plane and meeting you there just under, let's see, a couple months here. So
That's right.
look forward to that.
And of course, I don't need to tell anybody watching or listening that Corey is the co-creator of this here program, Coffee with Kenobi. So always great to have you, my friend Clayton. Where can everybody reach out to you?
You can probably on Twitter is the best at Clayton _Sandell. That's where I do most of my social media. And yeah, watch Newsy. Check out Newsy. We've got stories on there all the time. Sometimes some Star Wars stories, and yeah, I would love to have you there. And Dan, I'm actually disappointed. I thought you were having us on to talk about the Bridgerton trailer. I didn't know we were going to talk about.
Well, that's actually later. That's a paid feature. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. And now we give out Alex and Mason's information, but they are too high up the social media ladder for us
I
to
hear that.
follow him. Yeah. Well, thanks, Alex and Mason, for joining us too. Very good. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys real soon. Thanks again for joining us.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right. Well, I want to go ahead and Mason, you can go ahead and carry on with your night event. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Yeah.
Great job as always. So I want to get a chance to make sure that all of you are able to share your thoughts and feelings on this, even though we're not officially doing top 5. I'll just put the top 5 on here anyway, just for fun, just to kind of get it back in the spirit of things. I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to share their voice and share their opinions. Daniel says, Ewan, that's it and all I need. I mean, he looks tremendous, doesn't he? He looks so good. He looks so cool. I think he's going to be a monster in this role. He's going to be awesome, obviously. Matthew says this trailer hit so many notes without giving too much away. Got me very excited now. The Rebels recap will come in handy. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it serendipitous that on CWK Live we're going to be looking at every episode of Star Wars Rebels starting from the very, very beginning? I mean, that's great, right? And then you see all these things in this trailer that had to do with Star Wars Rebels as well. It's perfect, man. The Force is with this Coffee with Kenobi community, so how great is that? Sarah's number 1, Obi-Wan. Nothing more to say. Yes, I'm biased. He's my favorite. Hey, he's a great character. He is a great character. As I once asked Steve Sansweet, you know, he is the ultimate Star Wars collector. You know, the CEO of Rancho Obi-Wan. he said, well, I didn't name my museum Rancho Jar Jar. And it wasn't a knock on Jar Jar Binks. He just loves Obi-Wan Kenobi. So this is great, right? Mary says, Kenobi's been with us through so much. Original trilogy, prequel trilogy, Clone Wars, Rebels. This really brings it all full circle. Yes, it does. And again, I said this earlier, I like that it's a mini-series because that means we can really just enjoy it and just know that it's only going to be 6 episodes. When it's done, it's done. So we're going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. I think that's very satisfying as a fan of stories and storytelling. All right, well, if you have any more things you want to share about this, otherwise we'll probably wrap this thing up. I'm really glad that you all joined me. In fact, let's do a quick Ask Danzy. So yeah, I mean, I think we've covered a lot of cool stuff here, and some of you watched me earlier tonight on WDW Radio Live with Lou Mangel and Becky Mankin answering your questions about the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, which was great fun. So now we can talk Kenobi, we can talk anything else, or we can just get ready for next week's Star Wars Rebels. I've not yet rewatched Star Wars Rebels Season 1, Episode 1 yet, but I'm looking forward to it so I can get ready for our Top 5. Mary says, thanks for doing this special show tonight. It was a great day. It was so much fun. It was a great day to enjoy Star Wars with Entertainment Weekly, with the trailer. Hopefully we'll get some more celebration stuff pretty soon. So awesome. Matthew says, a 6, hopefully, hour Star Wars story movie. Yes, please. I can't emphasize enough how much I thought this looked like an amazing trailer for a movie. It just was really good. Christina, of course, is across the pond from the United States. It's a great way for me to spend a lunch break. Well, Christina, I'm so glad to have you. Andy says, what a great Star Wars week. Halcyon, Star Cruiser details, Celebration News, Kenobi trailer. Right? So good. Meantime, may the Force be with you. I want to thank all of you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule on an impromptu Wednesday to join me on CWK Live to talk about the Kenobi trailer. That is so cool. And I'm so happy that we have this amazing Star Wars community. I really can't thank you enough for joining me, sharing your thoughts on Kenobi. So much more to come. If you're listening onto the show on the podcast, this will be the one you're going to hear on Thursday. Saturday, we're going to have a very special coffee with Kenobi. We're going to hear interviews with me and many members of Lucasfilm and Walt Disney Imagineering talking about the creation of the Galactic Star Cruiser, putting that together, adding a lot of fun stuff into that show. I'm really looking forward to you taking time to listen to it. Daniel, thank you for joining us. Terry, thanks for the bonus time you spent with me this week. I really appreciate it. Anthony, have a great week. Looking forward to the next CWK episode. I'm looking forward to joining yours, and I'm also looking forward to Force Ghost Conversations, the next episode of that, Anthony. Be sure next week again that you bring your top 5 moments from Star Wars Rebels Spark of Rebellion Part 1 as we take a look at everything in Star Wars Rebels from the very beginning, and if we do other things Star Wars related that show up like this, then we'll just do some impromptu shows or change the schedule around, whatever it takes, right? Whatever it takes to spread the word. Thanks again for joining me. We'll see you on Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Unless there's another trailer, something big happens, we have to have another impromptu live. I was going to do an Instagram story, but I thought, you know what? I want to talk with my people, so I'm glad, again, that you joined me. Anthony, thanks so much. You are the best, I think. Yes, Matthew agreed. Check out Force Ghost Conversations and the Disney Marvels podcast hosted by Matthew as well. Thanks so much, everybody. See you real soon. Have a great week. And remember, this is the podcast you're looking for. We'll see you next time.